All right. I noticed that a lot of people are building vibe coding software these days, including myself, and we're all using n8n. So I thought maybe it would be helpful to share what I built to sell my software, the workflow, with other people who can use it for their own products and services, whatever that might be. So if you're kind of aware of what n8n is and vibe coding, you'd probably get an idea that what you're seeing on the screen is a very minimal three agent n8n system that does outreach for me. Okay. Um, and by the way, this does not like generate or extract the emails. I have the emails in this case. We'll build an extractor some other time, but I have the emails, a list of 1,000 emails that I paid $100 to somebody to generate for me. Pretty good for the most part, but we're just basically sending emails through that using this agent workflow. Um, I will teach you, well, I'll show you how I built it and how you can also kind of just replicate it. But we'll go through all these nodes and everything, and you'll see like why I put those nodes together, why I put use them, and stuff like that, so that you can give me feedback or also just apply this to your system. So far, I've gotten some replies, which is good. On autopilot, it doesn't hurt, you know. So yeah, let's get started. So this one is a first email workflow, and I just said it works because it actually works when I was editing. Now you don't need to pay too much attention to that. This one here is the second email workflow, which is the follow up. And this one here is a reply. So if somebody replies, it deals with the replies. Okay. So let's just start with the first email workflow. It's basically, we've got a schedule trigger. So it sends an email every 20 minutes. I can change it to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever I like to. And it sends 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day. Okay. Now you know that. Now, the next node is basically my list of emails where it grabs the email from and copies it and brings it up and sends the email using the next nodes. But the way I have it is that I have, let's say, 1,000 emails in the list. I have sent and unsent column. So email sent. If it's sent, then it doesn't take that, you know, obviously row. But if it says unsent in status, then that's the row it copies. And then it takes it to the agent. In this agent, so brings all the data, and we have this prompt, if you will. My audience is Instagram audience. Basically, I'm sending emails to the coaches who have their own audience and to sell them the software. But you can change it to whatever you like it to, and then tell about the product. The product is a product that helps them create an AI clone of themselves so that they can sell it to their audience, stuff like that. Uh, Monetize their existing content, if you will. And you have to tell it it's called orphic.so. You have to kind of give it as much information, but not too much. Risk reversal, it's like you want to tell it like how to respond and all that's, it's a pretty big prompt. Maybe yours shouldn't be that big, but the whole point of this is to, hey, use these tools to do whatever you need to do. So we've got a bunch of tools here. First of all, it uses perplexity. So in each row that it fetches from the Google Sheet, there is a link to their website. And now the agent first uses Perplexity node to research about that website, about that person. Okay. Now it thinks after that. Obviously, it sends data to the OpenAI chat node to kind of process it, put it in the normal words, and then it sends an email based on what we've told it to like the things that we've said, that hey, this is how you need to write an email, and if you do, your CTA should be reply to this email and I'll send you a demo, or just book a call here. All the instructions that we've given it. I can put the link in description so that you can get the whole workflow. Then once it's sent the email, it updates the Google Sheet to sent, and then that becomes the trigger for the next workflow. So because it just updated the sheet to sent, um, it triggers this workflow. So this workflow fetches all the information and sends it here, and then we have a wait for 2 days. So we send a follow up with 2 days, and what it does is this agent gets all the information from that prospect, and um, also the email that the first agent sent from the sheets, because the first agent also writes the email body that is sent to the prospect. And then it writes an email accordingly. Okay. If you want, you can also give it the message thread so that it replies to that email or follows up on that one. But I didn't really think of it as a necessity. And then once this follow up is done, there is this reply. So if somebody replies, this is what, it'll trigger this, and then the code is to just clean out the information a little bit so that we only kind of get what we actually need for the next steps, which is send an email. So I put the send an email node here so that I get notified that, hey, here's a reply, or this person replied, and then it waits. It waits 30 minutes before the person actually sent the email and sends a reply. Now, I've set some rules on why he should reply, why he should not reply, because sometimes we do get those, automatic emails like, hey, we've received your message, we'll get back to you in 24 hours or whatever. Sometimes we see emails like, it's a wrong email. So like it all looks like a reply. So I don't want the agent to go back in that loop of replying to an automatic email, then getting another automatic reply, and then I don't want it to think like, oh, they replied again, and then send another reply. We don't want to go into that loop of weird activity that's unnecessary. So then I told the agent that, hey, you need to first use the think tool to see whether this email even needs a reply. And then it thinks, and it actually is pretty good at telling me that, hey, you know what, this doesn't need a reply, it looks like an autoresponder. And then some people do get an email, or like we get a reply from some people, and then it replies them. Now, I don't recommend using the reply node. I would say just use this one instead, unless you're really good at prompting, uh, because you only get so many replies from your email campaigns, right? So you want to make sure that your reply is very spot on, and it's not just fluff. The things that you don't want to risk saying, the things that you don't really want to say to your prospect. So I would just say, just reply by yourself, because it's like, it'll let you know that you've got a response, and then you can either get this to summarize the email, suggest a response for you, but I would refrain from letting it send a reply on its own. But anyways, for the hell of it, so the first step it does is it thinks and see if it doesn't even if the email needs a replying or not, and then it fetches the emails that have been sent in the past to this prospect. Okay. And then all the emails that have been sent, the first email, the follow up email, so that it can mold its reply based on what's been sent and what the prospect said. And then it sends an email, and then based on that, it takes the row because we don't want, um, like if the person has already replied, we don't want them to be in the follow up sequence, right? We only want them um, if they haven't replied. So if they replied to our first email, ideally we would want them that their information deleted from the first row and then pasted into the second row, which is what we're doing here with reply tracking. So yeah, this is your very simple workflow. What you can do now is just copy and paste this 10 times over if you like, and then this becomes your multiple follow-up system. Obviously, you'd have to change things like, um, you know, like which triggered you, because like right now it's triggered by the first email sent, then you would trigger it by the first follow-up sent, and the next one would be the second follow-up sent, and then one after that would be the third follow-up sent, so on and so forth. You can go on, and this can be a really scalable way to do your outreach on autopilot, especially if you just, you know, if you have other um, outreach acquisition channels going, then this is a good way. um, but yeah, let me know what you think. In the description I'll put the link to the whole workflow so that you can get it.